Hi, I'm Aurora Newton,
And I'm Angie Bailey.
and this is Ask the A-Team. I had the dramatic pause. I wasn't sure if we were recording. Yeah, what's going on? What's going on? So it is beautiful out. We are in summertime. Everybody wants to be outside. There's more runners, there's more walkers, there's more bikers, bicyclists. But there are more motorcyclists as
Yes.
well. And I just can't help but every time, we come into this season and I see people out, see kids out, that my safety radar goes up. And we were at a conference in April, and we heard about just some real tragic stories about women being assaulted in a community, actually in a park area. But it's a very reclusive park on windy paths that are away from people, and I just couldn't help but think that if we would have had even 5 minutes with them to talk about some of the things with Assert, one of the big premises that we teach is the triple A of Assert: awareness, avoidance, and action. If you are aware of your surroundings, if you're going into an area that is recluse, take someone with you.
Yeah.
Awareness, avoid situations that could be potentially dangerous. That doesn't mean be paranoid. I never promote paranoia, and neither do you. Do we? I mean, like, we are women. We probably would be in those situations and go, "Oops, I teach this. Maybe I shouldn't be here." But we are very powerful women, but we are aware that there's an enemy that exists who is against our spirit, our soul, and our body, an enemy that exists and can use people to do harmful things.
Yeah.
So if we're aware of that and we avoid potentially dangerous situations, it's all the action we will ever need. That's your triple A of Assert: awareness, avoidance, and action. Now, hear me. That does not mean that anyone ever has the right to assault you. Ever.
Or that it's your fault if it does happen.
Yes. Ever. But you can take precautions for yourself, for your children, to ensure that you're not in potentially dangerous situations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we think of every situation? No. But my heart just breaks every time I think of that. Recently, there's been a lot of on the news about what happened with Bill Cosby and so many women. And Andrea, oh my gosh, Andrea, if you ever hear this, know that I have wept for you more than you could possibly know and prayed for you more than you will ever know. I wish I would have had even an hour with you to go over some things that you just didn't know. It breaks my heart that you had to live through that, and that there are people like us out there that really, truly want to help empower women.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We keep hearing of situations over and over and over again where they weren't empowered.
Right.
They didn't know, or they thought they were in a safe environment,
Right.
and this still happened to them. So please know that we're not saying that any of this was anybody's fault ever to be assaulted or victimized. Please know that, but just educate yourself, educate others. Take a look at these situations, and I know that sometimes, and especially if you've been victimized before, it's really hard to hear some of these stories. But take a look at them, learn from them, teach from them, speak from them, advocate everything that they. Everything happens for a reason, and I think any of these women, these victims that aren't always only women, if there's anything they could encourage you from their stories, is please learn from them. Please don't let this happen to you. Please don't let this happen to your children, your mothers, your sisters, your brothers. Don't let this happen to anyone that you know or love, and take away something. But then we also don't want you to live in fear.
Right.
I was recently talking on a panel at our church about going into places that can be dangerous, or have situations, and somebody came up to me and said, I wish you could have had time to talk on like the safety of going into these situations. And so I had a moment to speak with him, and it's one of those things. I am a high discerner.
Right.
So that can be one thing. If you're not a high discerner, then you need to take more precautions.
And or take one with you.
Yeah,
Know the
know
people
someone.
around you and their giftings.
Absolutely, that's a part. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a part of that awareness.
Exactly.
Is if you aren't the kind of person that's inclined to always be aware, have somebody that is.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's also not to teach fear. And I said, well, I have to tell you that we can't walk around being afraid. But yes, there is absolutely. And there are some situations, and sometimes it can even be to the same place, the same neighborhood, the same house, the same area. And I can feel safe in one moment.
Right.
And then the next time I just get this little twinge, like maybe you don't need to stop here. Maybe, you need to go about this differently. And then I shared from him, my moments. I used to smuggle Bibles into China, and like, but even in those situations, and we've even had another friend who's recently had to evacuate a part of the world because of persecution against Christians. And it's like, and then you question yourself, oh, was I living it out of fear?
Right.
No,
She absolutely
absolutely
wasn't.
was not. You have to be in tune with the Holy Spirit for Him to know, because it in one moment to the next that can change. Absolutely know is it dangerous? Yes. But are you supposed to be there? Yes. And then the next moment could be, is it dangerous? Yes. Are you supposed to get out of there? Absolutely. The Holy Spirit is telling you to get out of there. So it's just always being alert. Not only to the physical but the spiritual, and praying, and really before you go anywhere, really,
Right.
a lot of prayer needs to go into, and pay attention when you're praying for those things. Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to you. If you talk
Pictures in your head.
Yeah, absolutely. Pay attention to those things. Do not let fear grip you, because that is not fearful. That's actually like a very, very in tune with the Holy Spirit, and it's an act of courage to take heed to those warnings.
Right. We say, don't be paranoid, be prudent.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
I mean, if we need to put that in, like if you're not a believer,
Mm-hmm.
like it just in worldly terms, there are stories that we hear about where someone will say, oh gosh, at the last minute, I just felt like I shouldn't get on that plane.
Yeah.
And then the plane crashes or has mechanical,
Mm-hmm.
difficulties, and there's bad things that happen.
Right.
I mean, there is a voice that is inside of you,
Mm-hmm.
intuition in the world, discernment in the
Mm-hmm.
Christian world.
Right.
They really mean the same thing.
Yeah.
God created us to know what's going on around us 24/7. We build that out of our lives. We need to build it back into our lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
So say it with us.
Mm-hmm.
Awareness, avoidance, and action. And that's all the action you'll never ever need.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes. If this has helped you or in any way, or can help anyone you know and love, and it can help everyone, please like or share, and don't forget to follow Ask the A-Team.
Stay safe.
Bye, guys.
Bye.